This is the Hot 7 Nightly News.
Good evening. It is Thursday, 6th February 2025. I am Daniela Edwin. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We are on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna. Thank you so much for joining us. As global economic shifts threaten to drive up the cost of imported goods, the government of Saint Lucia is doubling down on food security by promoting local agriculture. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre is calling on citizens to embrace homegrown produce, emphasizing the need for self-sufficiency in the face of rising food importation costs.
The Saint Lucian government has formed a task force to assess the effects of U.S. tariff adjustments on the costs of goods and services in the country. With food import expenses projected to rise, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has renewed his appeal for greater dependence on locally grown produce. Addressing the importance of regional collaboration within CARICOM to enhance agricultural production, PM Pierre revisited past criticism he encountered for encouraging the public to consume more green bananas. He noted that the opposition's disapproval of his stance on banana consumption reflected a lack of long-term vision.
I don't want to sound reproachful, but remember some time ago in my first year of office when I spoke about using our bananas and how I was ridiculed by the opposition, and when I spoke about people trying to consume what they grow, and I put a pun in it. I said, eat what you grow and watch what you eat and eat what you watch. How that was ridiculed. It was because of the lack of foresight in the opposition, for their desire to play politics with everything. When I spoke about cassavas, right, about the cassava industry, again I was ridiculed. It has all come to the forefront of the necessity for food security. And what better food security that you can have than beginning to eat what we grow in Saint Lucia.
To advance this goal, the government has introduced initiatives like the Universal Benefit for Economic Cultivation Program, or UBEC program, which equips farmers with water tanks and essential agricultural supplies to enhance crop yields. Saint Lucia is set to receive 2 greenhouses from the government of Guyana. Prime Minister Pierre stated that these facilities will provide young people with opportunities to experiment with modern farming techniques, reinforcing the government's commitment to engaging youth in agriculture.
So, again, we are emphasizing that situation means that now we must look inward to see if we can try to grow as much as possible, and that is why the government, through the UBEC program, has given water tanks to farmers, has given inputs to farmers so they can grow more crops. Because more than ever, we need now to get serious about our food security. And next week, I think they may be here already. We've got 2 greenhouses from the government of Guyana. Greenhouses which we will establish as at Union. If you look in the last year's budget, you'll see some money in there for youth involvement in agriculture. These greenhouses are going to be set up, and we got some young people to begin to experiment to modernize their agricultural practices.
Commerce Minister Emma Hippolyte will lead the task force responsible for assessing the impact of tariffs and implementing strategies to strengthen food security. For the Hot 7 TV News, Chrissy Bakey reporting.
The race for the next UWP Vieux-Fort South representative candidate has begun. Prospective candidates contesting the seat are traditionally starting their campaigns and highlighting their respective manifestos for public consideration, and members of the public are deliberating about the prospects' credibility. Stevana Francis tells us more.
Prospective candidates for the UWP Vieux-Fort South seat are gearing up for their campaigns to be considered as the next representative for the constituency. As candidates traditionally prepare their campaigns and highlight their manifestos, members of the public take to social media to share their views on the prospect's credibility and whether the next candidate should be male or female for a change. Candidate prospect Wayne Harrow expressed his belief that he is the most suitable based on his direct knowledge of issues affecting Vieux-Fort South constituents.
To quote the Honorable Prime Minister, I am the most readied. I, unlike the present district rep, unlike many past candidates for the United Workers' Party, I have my roots in Vieux-Fort. I am Vieux-Fortian. I am Vieux-Fort. You're looking for the quintessential Vieux-Fortian. I am. And it is not an importation. I grew up in Vieux-Fort. I understand the Vieux-Fort psyche. I understand the people of Vieux-Fort. As I have said to my friends, I don't need to ask anyone to come to me for anything. I know who to go to because I know the people, I understand them.
Some members of the public hope that the next candidate would be female and are rallying behind candidate prospect known as Liana Johannes Paul. Amid their valued viewpoints and faced with the question of why he is not the automatic candidate designate given his credentials, Harrow cited due process and a keenness to support whatever and whomever the people choose.
We have a process. We have a process in the party where you send an application to the party, you are interviewed, and that's not the end of the process. The prospective candidates or applicants presented to the National Executive, Island Council, etc. So it's not a question of being automatic. She has a right and I have a right. She has decided to exercise the right to apply and I have done the same. I respect the process. I wish imposing me as the candidate was a fair process, but it's not. I prefer to stay as an applicant and see the process go through with Lady Lee and whoever is chosen.
Harrow provided a glimpse of some of the major necessities he would be advocating if chosen as ideal candidate for the Vieux-Fort South seat, to include pension schemes for fishermen, focus on youth improvement, southern congestion and waste issues akin to those in the north, and fundamentally, introduction of new systems to improve quality across problem areas, which includes the country's justice system, to reduce constituents' frustrations.
The other issue, perennially, our justice system. Up to now, we don't have a courthouse in Vieux-Fort. Many years I've spoken about it, no courthouse. I mean, and the delay and the pressure and the stress of getting things adjudicated has caused an environment where people don't want to face the law. Some of them just ignore. They suffer whatever injustice that comes their way, or a small minority take things into their own hands.
As the United Workers' Party prepares for eventual appointment of the Vieux-Fort South candidate designate, the people of Vieux-Fort wonder how well either prospect might roll out their vision and manifesto amid pressing matters requiring attention as the most readied candidate for the seat. For the Hot 7 TV News, I am Stevana Francis.
Police are currently investigating 2 drowning incidents which occurred in Soufrière that claimed the lives of tourists. According to the public relations officer of the Saint Lucia Fire Service, they were able to perform CPR and pre-hospital interventions, but this proved futile.
2 suspected drowning incidents have occurred in Soufrière within a 48-hour span. The latest incident occurred on Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Videos circulating on social media show the victim on a boat near the jetty. This was confirmed by Cherise John, Public Relations Officer of the Saint Lucia Fire Service. She indicated that emergency service responders treated the male before transportation to a medical facility.
On Wednesday, February 5th, 2025, the Saint Lucia Fire Service responded to an emergency call for a near drowning at the Soufre jetty. On arrival at the scene, an elderly adult male was found in a supine position. Emergency personnel immediately took over the scene and he was transferred into the ambulance where CPR along with 3 hospital interventions were performed en route to a medical facility.
Despite interventions of the fire service and hospital personnel, the individual succumbed. This follows a confirmed drowning on Tuesday, February 4th at Anshasni Beach. The deceased was identified as 83-year-old Andrew Allen, a resident of North Carolina, United States. Authorities have not yet released the identity of the individual involved in Wednesday's incident as investigations into the matter continue. For the Hot 7 TV News, Chrissy Bakey reporting.
Still in the first segment of the broadcast, the POV. In light of 3 recent drownings involving tourists, we asked you whether or not you believe tourism workers are adequately trained to handle emergency situations. Here is your point of view.
Yes, I really think they should be trained, and just in basic CPR, because the fact remains is that they are transporting tourists, and of course sometimes they may get special concessions and transport school children and so on. And so if something happens, we need to think about it. By the time the ambulance crew gets there, a lot can happen. So if they are trained in just very basic CPR, I think it's going to be a plus for them. And not only that too, I think that it would help the other drivers too, those with the public transport. I even think they too should be trained in just basic CPR. So I think it's a good idea.
Yes, I believe they should be trained. First and foremost, I believe they should walk if they first, especially the bus drivers, they should have their first aid kit. They should be trained how to use it, and yeah, I believe so. They should be trained.
Yes, I believe they should be trained individuals, but not the bus driver himself. Right? In case there is an accident, the bus driver might get flustered because it's his employment, it might be his vehicle, he might be more concerned with his material asset. But if there's a trained personnel on board, that person's whole focus, whole goal is to assist in the emergency. So they wouldn't care about the bus, wouldn't care about anything else but the injured individuals.
Yes, I believe there should be someone that is trained and certified in these areas with the tour guides, along with the tour. For instance, the guy that drowned in Soufre if there was a trained person, there were people on the scene, but it all depends on your qualifications and stuff. They were administering CPR, I believe all tour guides, in fact the tour guides too, they should be trained as well, not just a personnel to provide CPR and stuff. The tour guides should be trained, even the drivers too of the vehicles, if possible. They should be trained and stuff. Because you never know what could happen. Things can happen at any time in a matter of seconds. You could never tell. So you must have somebody at least with some experience.
Yes, I think it's important, and not only our tour operators, but everybody, every citizen of this country should be trained in emergency medication, in CPR.
No, they are not prepared and they are not ready. The facilities they have is poor and weak. For example, if I have a company, I will invest in my staff. Listen to me. I will invest in them. Number one, money is not everything, right? The health matters more than money, because health makes you make money. If you are not healthy, you are not wealthy. Ain't it? Now, number one, I will establish my workers, my employer or employees, whatever you want to call them. I'll give them a proper base to work or establish with. I will send them to the proper facilitators to train them correctly. And if you want a staff to work for you with all they have, treat them good. Okay? You fully equip them. Listen carefully. You fully equip them, and guess what? They'll give you good delivery and service.
Look out for our reporters or head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages at Caribbean Hot 7 TV to share your point of view on trending topics in the news. Coming up next, police are sounding the alarm on recent scammer activity, and the SLASPA discloses plans for the Uranora International Airport facelift. All that and much more coming up when we return.